I received this DM on Instagram and it said, "You appear so confident." I was like, huh? Nobody's ever appreciated me for confidence. It's always, who do you think you are? Or even better, who gave you your confidence? People are genuinely bewildered. They're like, what? But what have I told you? Confidence isn't something that you're given. It's something that you build. Let's redefine what confidence is. Confidence comes from the Latin word confidere, which means to trust. Do you trust yourself to rise to the occasion? Do you trust yourself to be competent, to be skillful in whatever this thing is that you care about? It's trust in oneself. And one misconception that people have is that if you're confident in one area of your life, that means you're confident in your whole life. It's universal. But confidence is contextual. You say that someone is confident because they are confident in an area that you value. For example, if it's public speaking, let's use a podcast for example. If you see someone, they're laid back, they're chilled, you're like, wow, that person's really confident. That person that's doing a podcast may not be used to doing live shows, but they're comfortable in that area of podcasting. So we need to understand that you can be confident in certain areas and less confident in other areas. So confidence is really about having the courage to overcome your fears. Do you trust yourself in that journey to become the person that you want to become? So let's talk about that journey of becoming. How do you become confident in the things that you wish to be? Well, when I was a teenager, I sought confidence in the things that I cared about. These were FIFA, football, and education. And if you talk to me about any of those things in my teenage years, I'll be confident because I can back myself, right? But I didn't understand what confidence really meant because there was still a bit of an uneasy tension inside of me. So when I finished GCSEs, I said to myself, look, I've got my grades, cool, but there's so much more, right? I know there's more to life than just the grades. So GCSE results day. I get my results, I go to the school, the teachers are like, well done, well done, well done. You got the highest grades in our year, whatever. Take a break. If you watched the third episode of my podcast series, you'll know I did not take a break. I kept going. But what exactly was I doing? I wasn't working. I was just experimenting. I was trying new things. I did my first public speaking experience when I was 15. I went to my old primary school and I talked to them about my life at secondary school because I felt that was the right thing to do. If I didn't do it then, I will regret it later on in my life. And 5 years later, from 15, I'm now 20, I still hold that same belief. If I don't do it now, I will regret it. Trust your intuition. So the lesson from my journey of confidence is that action came before confidence. You have to be bad at something to then build your competency and then become confident in it, right? When I put this camera in front of me, damn, that first time, if you saw my overcoming the camera video on TTB, you know, I was talking about anxiety, I was talking about all these things. I was just like, wow, this is completely different. How about I just stay doing what I'm doing and doing what I know? But I've been on that journey for so long now, and it met an inflection point where I said, look, something has to change. Let's talk about that confidence-competence loop. How does it work? I'm going to talk from my experience, so it won't be perfectly scientific, but hopefully it resonates more and it will allow you to be more actionable with whatever advice you get from me. So, number one is courage. Commit to that thing that you're fearing, but you know you want to do. I'm going to use the example of networking events because I think that's the best example from my personal experience. It's getting that first ticket to your networking event and confirming that you're going to go to it in 2 weeks' time. That's the courage bit. So second thing in that cycle is exposure. When you go to that networking event, are you standing in the corner of the room looking around like, guys? Or are you actually going to people and talking to them? Because it's one thing to sign up and go there, it's another thing to be present and involve yourself inside of the event. So talk to people that are slightly younger than you, people that are the same age, people that are triple your age, right? That's the exposure part of the cycle. And then you gain your competence. Keep doing it over and over again. Keep going to networking events, keep talking to different people, keep doing it over and over again. It won't be easy, but by the time you know it, you're gonna be a little expert, you know what I mean? You'll be all right. And then finally, you have the confidence and the trust that comes with it. If you know you can go to a networking event and you can talk to someone that's completely different to you, different demographic, different age, whatever, you'll be fine, right? And that's how you build for confidence in going to networking events. So the key idea here is immersion. When you go to the networking event, are you involving yourself or are you just in the corner, a bit reserved, not really fulfilling the promise that you made to yourself? Because when you expose yourself, that's the first little, level that you jump. Because anyone can sign up for an event. Not everyone actually shows up. You'd be surprised. You can have 100 people that sign up for an event, maybe only 70 show up, 50 sometimes. And to me, that's crazy. When I sign up for an event, I make sure to go. So immerse yourself. That is a method to build your confidence. Another thing that I want to pick up on is addressing fear, because fear can just hold you back, right? Fear tells you don't do this thing, otherwise this bad thing will happen. But you need to understand that fear binds to self-limiting beliefs. If you believe that you're not good enough to do something, fear will just latch onto it, be like, safe, I'll take that. Let me take that, let me tell you, yeah, you can't do it. You know why? Because when you go on that stage, you're going to trip and fall. You're going to stutter. Everyone's going to laugh. Not to say that it's self-inflicted, but fear is natural. Nervousness is natural. You are in control of whatever comes after that. Do you perpetuate that cycle? Do you keep telling yourself, the self-talk, right? Is it telling you, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'm not good enough, and you haven't even tried yet. So please, understand that there is nothing wrong with you. Everything is pretty bad in the start. And it's fine to feel nervous, it's fine to feel that little anxiety, that thing telling you like something's bad is going to happen, right? Something bad is going to happen. But you have to acknowledge it, accept it, and just keep going. Because that fear actually never goes away. Alright, let's get a level deeper now. Let's say you've gone to a networking event. You've done everything you need to do. And you still feel like, it's not getting easier, And you want to build that unshakable confidence. You want to step into every room, everyone feels your aura, everyone feels your presence. Let's talk about it. It starts before you step into that room. That might sound obvious, but let's break it down a bit more. Let's talk about your actions in your personal life. Do you do the things that you say you will do? Do you wake up on time? Do you study when you say you're going to study? Do you say you're going to put the phone down, but you don't actually put the phone down and you're distracted all the time? All these little things is about integrity to yourself. Because if you're fooling yourself in your personal life, that will leak into your self-esteem. It will show in your body language. It will show in how you talk. It will show in your relationships. Because that internal conflict is going to leak out. The reason why this is so important is because, again, just back to my earlier point, confidence starts from within. It's trust in oneself. So if you can believe in yourself that, okay, I can follow my own lead, there's no worry when it comes to, I'm going to set myself this ambitious goal and I'm going to achieve it. You're not worrying about confidence there. You're just saying, if I follow through, I'm going to be fine. That self-assurance is invaluable. I want to tie this into my journey on LinkedIn. So I didn't just start posting videos and content like this. If you've been following me for a long time or you're friends with me, you'll know I'm very active on LinkedIn. And I started LinkedIn when I was in year 12, so when I was 16. I didn't really know what LinkedIn was about at that time. I had a little idea. It's for professionals. It's like a social platform for professionals, and that's about it. When I was posting, I wasn't really worrying about what other people thought, because when I looked at myself and I said, why am I posting? I just said, look, I've done this amazing thing that I've never done before. I'm gonna share what I learned. I'm gonna share what I found interesting. I'm gonna appreciate people. That's just a common thread with every event I go to. And that comes with intention. So please understand that courage without intention does not equal confidence. Courage without intention does not equal confidence. When you step into a networking event, if you're not intentional in what exactly you're doing, if you're not actually talking to people and trying to learn about them, you cannot build that confidence. There's a missing link there. You're going to feel empty. And it's going to feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. It's because the intention is not there. Your values are not aligned within you. Because you can do the same thing 100 times, but it feels like you're not really making progress. It's because of the intention. So why is building confidence so important? If you're a student watching this, or a young professional or an entrepreneur, you know that confidence is important, but you're not really sure why. Well, confidence is the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Because if you're saying you want to be, I don't know, let's say you're an entrepreneur and you want to make this pitch deck and you want to pitch it to these investors, you know that if you're unprepared, you're stuttering, you don't really believe in your vision, that's going to affect your likelihood of getting that investment. If you're a young student, you know that if you're not confident in your ability to show up in that test, it's going to show. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to feel a bit nervous, you're going to waste time. If you're a young professional, maybe you're not asking the questions you're meant to ask, and that's limiting your development. Confidence is the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It doesn't actually have to take a drastic shift. It's just little steps, one by one, building that confidence, layering it up, compounding it to the point where you reach that breakthrough point. So let's round off the points from this video. Why am I talking about confidence? Well, confidence, I want to break that misconception. It's not about personality. It's a skill that you build. Every repetition, every time you put yourself in a position where you need courage, you're building confidence with intention. Don't forget the intention. And another thing I want to say to you is, don't let ego and perfectionism get in the way of your confidence. Because there's actually two sides to ego. This is how I see it. There's the ego that protects you and your identity today. So let's say you're just a student and you're a high attainer. If you're getting maybe the highest in your class and you start doing videos, I might be talking about myself here, but but let's say you start making videos now and it's pretty bad, you know? It's kind of ruining the halo effect. Well, that's unfortunate, right? Because you know that when you start something new, you're going to be bad at it. But is that going to stop you from doing the videos, even though that's something you want to do? Or you're just going to stay, you can just stay in your bubble, and your resilience in other areas is going to wilt. It's going to struggle. So ego can come from that side. But ego can also say, look, I'm this and that. I'm egotistical. I'm the man, a little bit, right? And doing all of that posing, all of that nonsense, you can fake the confidence, I guess. How long can you keep up for? I don't know. I've never tried to do that before, so I feel like if you go from that angle, there's only so much you can fake until it really comes out. And perfectionism is quite simple. If you're trying to be perfect all the time, this video that you're watching is not perfect, right? I'm just putting it out there because I think it's at a level, at a standard that I think is good enough. It's the same with everything in your life. And if you want to learn a bit more about that, check out my 20 lessons video on TTB, because I talk about the 80% rule, not having to put 100% into every commitment you do.
If you've made it this far to the video, comment 100% so I know that you've completed the video. And please share your key takeaway. It will help for the future videos and hopefully someone else watching too. Thank you for watching.